Greetings, citizens of the internet. So yesterday, the YouTube algorithm blessed me with this podcast by a guy called Ping Trip, who I'd never heard of before then. And after watching, I really like this guy. He had Alex Jones on, and they talked about a bunch of different stuff. And Alex Jones sounds remarkably sane. So they went into a lot of stuff, and I really liked Ping Trip's views on the Ukraine war. He said some stuff about how if people really cared about Ukrainians, they would be advocating for peace because Ukrainians are dying, which I completely agree with. But the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about from this interview was when they talked about Jimmy Dore. Now, if you know much about Jimmy Dore, I'm a longtime Jimmy Dore stan. So he used to work for Young Turks, and one year, don't quote me on what year it was, but it was, within the last 5 to 10 years. They were at Politicon, and Alex Jones came onto their stage, and there's a whole altercation that happened, and you can hear Cenk yelling at Alex, "Get the F off my stage." And then Jimmy comes over and spits on Alex. So Jimmy was on Tim Pool recently, and he was asked about this, and, Jimmy said, "Oh, my story is Alex made me laugh. He said, I'm just here to be nice." And then, so I did a spit take, and it's clear that Jimmy is not serious about this. If you watch the tape, it's pretty obvious that he intentionally spit on Alex. But what's really cool is Alex here kind of forgives him, and Jimmy says he regrets it, to his credit as well. So the clip starts with Alex talking about how he's reached out to Jimmy, trying to get him to do an interview. And I don't really blame Jimmy and his crew for kind of being dodgy, because Alex Jones has a bit of a cloud over him after the Sandy Hook thing, which was terrible. Let's be honest. Those poor parents lose their children, and then they got conspiracy theorists yelling at them. That's not cool, man. So, I mean, I understand why Jimmy's might be hesitant to engage with Alex Jones, because it could put his channel at risk, and, who knows? And you gotta, if that's your livelihood, if that's what, what's paying your bills, you gotta protect that. Which is why it's hard to, argue with a lot of people. Anyway, watch this clip. This is good.
So we've reached out on Twitter, his site, everywhere, and he won't come on, which I think is just stupid. I think he's really funny, really smart, really has a way of saying things. I think he's one of the best broadcasters out there.
I don't agree with a lot of his politics, but I love that I can disagree with someone's political views, but then still know that they're being honest.
I'd be interested to know what politics he doesn't agree with
these days. He's someone who will call it as he sees it. He's not always right,
but he's really funny, and that's my point. Is that
great.
The only reason I bring up the story is I did not crash their show.
Yeah.
I did not do the things they said I did. And I sure as hell didn't break into their building.
Yeah, so Jimmy says that you made him laugh so hard that he did a spit take. And that's why he spit on you, because he went with everything.
No, he was like a spitting cobra. He spit away from like 6 feet away.
He's like
you got the video. Roll the video.
Yeah, if you guys want to play the clip of Jimmy talking about Alex.
All right, we got this from mystery guest. He says, JD is the best in the business. Lots of love to him. Ask him if he regrets spitting on Alex Jones.
Yes.
I hope so. You do?
Yeah. My story is that I had some iced tea in my mouth, which is true, and I went up, and Alex Jones is funny. You can't deny that he's not funny. And when I got up there, he literally said, "Hey, I'm just trying to be nice."
I think Jimmy meant to say, you can't deny that he is funny. He said, Alex Jones is funny. You can't deny that he's not funny. That's just misspoke, I'm sure.
And that was so funny. I had a spit take, and that's what happened. But he quit. He walked away immediately afterwards. So it worked. It diffused the system.
But you're saying you didn't just like spit on him out of anger? Is that what it is?
My story is he was being very funny, and it was an involuntary spit take, and I do regret it.
I'm not going. Everybody get the fuck off my stage!
This guy.
He literally said, "Hey, I'm just trying to be nice." And that was so funny. I had a spit take, and that's what happened.
I mean, obviously he's joking. He spit on me. It's funny. I don't care.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny back at the time. And I didn't really know who Jimmy Dore was. I saw him on some on their show. But I mean, I watch him all the time. I think he's.
I do too. I think he's funnier than Russell Brand, who is like Alex Jones now, which is great. I see that as a success. I've always wanted to become obsolete in that I know my worldview is right. Because here's a key point, Pink Trip.
So, to Alex Jones's credit, he is one of the first, anti-establishment, outside the mainstream media broadcasters, and he has been for a long time. InfoWars has been around as long as I can remember, since the internet was a thing. So, got to give him credit on that, and you also got to give him credit for being conciliatory and forgiving. And to Jimmy's credit as well, in the clip, he says he regrets it. So maybe these guys can mend fences and have a conversation. It seems like Alex has been popping up on a lot of people's shows, and it would be cool to see an Alex Jones, especially Alex is heaping praise on Jimmy here. He's like saying he's funnier than Russell Brand and, giving him all kinds of props. So, hopefully Jimmy sees this and at least makes an effort to respond and mend fences with Alex, because what I see Jimmy doing is amazing. This guy Pink Trip says he watches him, and I don't know Pink Trip, but to me it's good to see this populist kind of unification happening, and Jimmy's so responsible for that. I mean, just the world of careers, like I don't necessarily say careers that he's created, though. I mean, I know of other podcasts and other influencers because of Jimmy, because of people like Nick Cruz, for example, or Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate. Like I largely follow these people because of Jimmy Dore, so and Jimmy Dore has created this ecosystem around himself of people that also attack him for money, like the what's that guy, Sam Cedar and David Pakman and all these watered down fake MSNBC leftists constantly attack Jimmy. They wouldn't have careers if it weren't for Jimmy Dore, let's be honest. So you got to give Jimmy Dore a lot of props for the work that he's done, and Alex Jones kind of praising him. Some people may see it as a negative, like, oh, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones praises Jimmy Dore, says he watches him all the time. Oh, I can see the headlines now, but the reality is that's kind of a cool thing. Alex, InfoWars has been ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff, and for a long time. So you got to give credit where credit is due. So anyway, I thought this was a cool little tidbit I wanted to share. So take care of yourselves.